I'm Tyler Burgess of Walk With Me. I live in Eugene, Oregon, and one thing I do for my business is organize and give guided walking tours all over the world. And I'm preparing to bring people to Sicily next year. So I am checking out the hotels and the best places to go and seeing if the gelato is good. Is the wine good? I do thorough research. This is the view from my terrace where I was staying in Calican, Sienta for a couple of days. I caught the bus to this beautiful little town, Piazza Armerina, for the day to go see the Roman villa. Today, I am in a little town called Piazza Armerina, and just outside the town is this beautiful Roman villa. It was buried for 700 years under a slide of mud. And it's just been evacuated in the last 50 years. When we arrived to the entrance of the Roman villa, there was this protest. These men have had souvenir stands. The road was changed so that the tour buses could pull into a lower lot and have a bigger room for the tour buses, but it does not allow room for the souvenir stalls. So that's the protest. There is some beautiful outdoor art here as well. In the background, you can see the excavation of the ruins, and now we've gone inside. Every room had a different theme. This is the Circus Maximus mosaic on the floor. You can see chariots racing around the center. This was a passageway. We had these great information boards in several languages. Come back inside to see more of the mosaic floors. So historians and archaeologists have no clue who this belonged to, but they believe since it is so fabulous, it must have belonged to one of the Roman emperors. This was probably a waiting room or a dressing room before people went into thermal baths, because you can see around the edges places for people to sit. Now I'm going to leave in some of the background noise so you can hear the other tour guides. The tour groups come in here on the big tour buses, and they have 1 hour to go through these ruins. I'm going to make sure when I bring people here, we have 3 to 4 hours. It is so fabulous, and we don't want to rush through here. You can see the chariots racing on this floor. Look at how expressive these horses are. Their heads are turned in different directions. It's an amazing work of art. Look closely at the border. It has a 3D effect. This is called the third room of the private flat, and you can see the 4 seasons expressed in these mosaics. We'll look at some of the close-up parts of it as well as the overall view. Here's some dogs hunting a fox. These 2 men are carrying a boar tied to a stick between them, and the dog is below them. Here's the overall view of hunters chasing deer. It's amazing the amount of detail in this work of art. The pattern in this border looks like a modern work of art. We're moving from room to room on an elevated walkway. This room is a very long, large hallway. It shows the Romans going to different parts of the world to collect elephants, lions, camels. These animals would be exhibited in the Roman Colosseums. The lions they used to feed Christians to. The mosaics here are really fabulous. Now, you don't get to walk on the mosaics, but they have made a raised platform, so we walk on that. And look at the serious expressions on these men. They're trying to get a wild bull into their cart. And there's a female tiger just above the
Oh, look at the female
bull.
tiger. You can tell she has little...
There's a camel in there.
That's right.
And here they're trying to get a rhinoceros. Three and a half hours at the mosaics at the Roman villa, and then we went into town to have lunch. This is a tiny town, and we got to go into the church as well as walk through the town. It was just lovely. In every little town and every big town in Italy, you find these fabulous, fabulous churches. And I told my companion, Juan Marco, in the United States, we don't have such things. And he said, well, why not? And I said, well, number one, we're not a Catholic country. And number two, we are not an old country. This is not a piece of cloth. This is inlaid stone. And these are the choir stalls, hand carved.
Oh,
cemetery.
two are in South America. Yeah.
We had quite a bit of time to walk through this village. It was so beautiful. You're going to hear a car driving through town promoting a political candidate.
L'ex assessore Luigi Pascetta, che incontrerà i cittadini per esporre i motivi che lo hanno portato a dare le dimissioni demografiche. Sabato 28 settembre alle ore 18 in Piano Luigi.
Yeah.
One thing I love about Eugene or any place I go in the world is just walking down the street and seeing where people live and seeing their homes and gardens. This is a World War II memorial.
There is a big difference between the right side. It's quite old.
Yeah.
So I'd like to share with you some of my sketchbook diary. This was this year in Sicily. This is a really nice moleskin notebook. This is the Roman villa outside of Piazza Armerina. These were amazing, amazing mosaics. And they were difficult to draw, I thought. These are some of the feet in the mosaics. And we could see Mount Etna. That is not smoke, it's actually sulfur gas coming off the top. In Mount Etna, we get on a Jeep and we go up to the starting point, and then we get a hard hat and we're wearing boots, and then we walk up to the top. So not everybody gets to do this every day because it's either too windy or the volcano's exploding, but I was very fortunate and got to go this day. Yes, this is me, protected against the wind, the cold, and the sulfur gas. It was really windy, and this is our guide.
You're going to feel it. Oh,
Yeah.
the oxygen is different. I know this is true what I'm going to say.
In the distance is the town of Catania and the Mediterranean Sea. We have made it up to the edge of the crater, and you can't see down in it because all the white, billowing sulfur gas. And yes, it is strong and it smells. Yellow you see here is sulfur. The white smoke is actually sulfur gas. And I touched this sulfur and it is warm. Our guide had us each put our hands over this hot spot, and it's really hot. It makes your hands warm. I was thrilled to be able to hike up to the top of Mount Etna. Some days the weather is bad and they don't bring people up here, and by December the volcano was erupting and lava was flowing right down where we're standing. This is looking into the main crater at Mount Etna, but there's so much sulfur gas you can't really see much. As you can see, there's several craters up here on Mount Etna. I'm Tyler Burgess of Walk With Me. Thank you for joining me on another program. Today I am in Sicily. I am organizing and preparing to bring people on a walking tour here next year.